En este momento estamos entrevistando a Francesca Sampollo. Ella es nacida en Italia, pero trabaja en Nueva Zelanda. Trabaja en el tema de food design. Actualmente ella tiene una maestría en diseño, pero especializada en food design, en la cual trabajó en la Universidad Metropolitana de Londres. Y nos acompaña aquí en Colombia en esta semana, en el segundo encuentro latinoamericano de food design, en 2014, en la cual ella ha sido presente como una de las invitadas especiales internacionales, ya que es una de las grandes líderes y es la fundadora de la International Food Design Society, y también ha trabajado de manera transdisciplinar con varias marcas y con varios actores del diseño de alimentos y el diseño a nivel internacional, en la cual ella congrega a partir de una serie de subcategorías y una serie de temas relacionados con el diseño con alimentos para alimentos, o lo encerramos en inglés como el food design. Y pues ella nos va a hablar un poco de cómo el food design puede ser intervenido o puede involucrarse dentro de la industria alimentaria en Latinoamérica y en Colombia. So thank you, Francesca, to be with us.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to be here with you here in Colombia, in Bogota. So we enjoy this opportunity, and we're happy to be here with you. So we're gonna ask you a few questions about food design and your expertise job around this subject. So here it is, Luis Fernando. Luis. So he's gonna join our coordinator of the group of investigation from agribusiness and food industry from the Los Andes University, from the Faculty of Business Administration. So feel free.
Feel free. Oh, right. I just want first, out of all the questions that we have scheduled, how was your first impression in Colombia?
Well, my first impression of Colombia was 4 years ago, when I came to California conference, and the same first impression that I had over there was matched over here, and it's basically all about the fact that people are great and kind and smiley and they offer things all the time. And yes, things. I mean, they offer their time, they offer you a smile, they offer you help all the time. So really, really great, and it's really about the people and food. But
yeah, as you said in your videos, all your thinkings are about the food or food design.
So how's the approximation with the food, the Colombian food? What is what did you try some traditional plates?
Here during these 3 days, not much yet. A couple of things. Yesterday we had a sweet drink with a
Agua panela.
see, and that was great. It was very sweet, and also the tamale that we had.
Boronillas.
See, so I really like the fact that you are not afraid, as Italians are, of mixing sweet and savory, like fruit and vegetables together. Like the tamale yesterday had aubergine and plantain, and it worked perfectly together. So yeah, and so I really like the fact that there are different flavors that from an Italian background shouldn't go together, but they really go together brilliantly. So I really like that. And plus I love plantains, and I love bread, and you guys in Colombia make awesome bread. So yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And what about the pan de bono?
Yes, that was my love affair. Yes, I fell in love with it.
Only pan de bono, or
I think I've tried also a couple of other things, but that really stuck in my mind for some reason. It was so perfectly round and just beautiful.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice, thank you.
All right. And seeing all these experiences, all these memories, where does come your inspiration from? Who, where, what, all the things, how your inspiration comes to you to think about the food design?
Right. it really was a very defining moment of my life. You know, your life usually goes straight, but then there are moments that happen or people that you meet that make your life really take a bend. And that was one of the moments in my life. And basically it was during my bachelor degree in industrial design, so again, that's my background, industrial design. And we had in between semester, we had like a workshop, and we have a few to choose from. And by the way, in industrial design in Italy, at Polytechnic of Turin, we were really designing like washing machine, so really like really boring industrial bulky machines. And so there was this workshop to choose from. I just randomly chose the one with the least boring name, and I went in without any expectation. And at the beginning, this chef came in. He was a chef, and he was coming into an industrial design course, and it was about 10 years ago. And I then found out that it was David Escabin, who's the owner of the now two Michelin star restaurant Coppa Zero. And he started talking about designing food. And to me, it made so much sense. Not cooking, but designing food. And he was a chef, and I was designing washing machines. And all of these just made, it made no sense and a lot of sense at the same time. And that's it. I fell in love with design. My life took a bend, and since then, really, what triggers my curiosity and interest is why and how do we apply design to the edible material? Chefs have always been doing what they've been doing without ever calling it food design. Why do we start now calling it food design? So why are we adding the word design to it? So that's really where my interest comes from.
Okay, thank you very much.
And knowing your interest and your background in food design, right now, what means to you food design, and not only the definition, but what it means in your life.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, food design kind of is my life. Like all of it, not 90%, like all of it really is my life. Because since that moment, I immersed myself into it. I really project in school. I did that, and then when I finished, I wanted to study my master, and I went to a place where I could do that, and then my PhD. So, and then starting the society. This thing of designing food really is part of me. Is what I think about all the time, and probably more specifically with regards to what I'm actually doing within the Food Design Society is trying to bring together academia and professionals in the same room at times, or in the same virtual space. So that was the purpose of the International Food Design Society, to offer a place where these kind of people could get together and get to know each other virtually in the space of a website, and then physically with whatever events that are organized. So really, I think that right now my interest is really in getting people together and getting people to know each other, and getting professionals to know that there are researchers like me publishing stuff that nobody reads.
Okay.
So I think that's what drives me right now.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so how can you motivate the students that actually are here in the second encounter of Latin American food design to pursue the food design?
Yeah, I think I would tell them what I understood when I met David Escabino, when my life turned, and that is that if you are already in the design field,
Yeah.
then designing food is the most awesome thing that you can do. Because
But what is awesome?
right, exactly, because really the main thing about food and about why I think I get so excited, and maybe other people too get so excited about designing food instead of chairs, is the fact that food is the only material that triggers all five senses, right?
Mhm.
So food is the only designed outcome that we actually put in our mouth and allow to our body to digest. So food is the only thing that you can design that actually becomes a biological part of me. And that is a very intimate thing. And as a designer, thinking that you're designing something that is going to have the most intimate relationship with users possibly, because your product is going to, they are going to trust your product so much that they're going to put it into their mouth and actually chew it and digest it and so on. So I think it's very cool. But there's also a problem. There's also a problem that comes with a very, to me, inspiring solution. Food doesn't last. It disappears.
Yeah.
So as a food designer, as a food product designer, or as a chef, you're designing something that lasts few hours, maybe few days, and that's it.
Or a few minutes.
Right?
If you...
So as designer, we probably start our career thinking, oh, I'm going to design something that will last forever and will be with food. No, you probably have pictures if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Of it, but the product itself, it disappears. Well, this might be something that can put somebody down, but on the other hand, to me, is exactly what is exciting about food, because you're not designing the product itself. You end up designing memories. Because if you want your product to last, you can only design memories. So with food design, with more than furniture design, for example, if you want your product to be remembered, it really needs to be exceptional. It really needs to touch people, because when it's gone, there's only memories that remain.
Okay.
So I think that this challenge is very cool.
Okay.
Talking to the people who are going to be seeing or going to watch this interview on our YouTube channel, I want to tell them that Francesca made 6 subcategories about the food design. That design with food, designed about food, designed for food, food stage design, food product design, and eating design. That's all of them. I'm not the...
No, that's fine. That's enough.
How can you, how all these subcategories can summarize all the food design universe?
Right. I think, okay, so the thing is that you can look at food design from many different perspectives. You can look at food design from the perspective of the human being and how it interacts with food, so what happens before, during, after, whatever. I don't know, you can look at it in other ways. My contribution to food design with these six subcategories was to create an understanding of what it is for those who don't come from a food design degree. And that's the majority of us right now. There are a few courses right now that post food design, so now there are food designers, proper food designers coming out of this course, but the majority of us either have a product design background, industrial design background, interior design background, food science background, culinary arts background. So for us, because this is the thing that happened when I approached food design. If I used to Google it, and I would find all these different definitions, right? People would call food design the designing of a flavor for a bag of chips.
Okay.
And people were calling food design the chefs for the restaurant. And to me, they were very different things, very different material, different design processes. So, because I've never been the person who wanted to say, oh, that is not food design. Oh, yes, that is food design. So I felt like, if you think that is food design, that's fine with me. So my contribution was to try and really make sense of all these differences and categorize these differences. So really, those subcategories are showcasing the differences, the different background discipline that you can have when you approach food design. So for things so far, product designers might have done design for food. So those coming from a product design background might have done product design for food or for eating, or sometimes in proper food product design, where food is the material itself, but you're doing something edible, something from mass production. And chefs with their own culinary art background will be doing design with food, so designing the food itself, and so on. So really is a contribution about seeing where we come from and how we fit with our background knowledge. Because a product designer with a product design background and product design degree doesn't know anything about food itself as a material, or cooking or chemistry or whatever. So he approaches Switzerland with his own knowledge about shapes and ergonomics and how things go well together and whatever. So that was the reason for it.
Okay, thank you.
But it's not. I think you can look at it in many different ways. This was my way to make sense of all this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only
It's a huge bunch of stuff
Right.
in a huge universe,
Right.
so you can
Right.
enroute it and make sense for you.
Right.
yeah, it's like you see out in your glaciers,
Right.
on your glaciers, but are
Yeah, that's
So-
true. That's a good metaphor.
Okay, so then what kind of tips you can offer
Right.
Francesca Sampolo from the fruit design to Latin America?
Right. I wrote this down. I have to write this up. I think that one thing that you can do, you're already doing it, which is what we're doing here in these 5 days, whatever they are, meeting with one another. Latin America is huge, many different countries, many different cultures, some commonalities. So I think that what you should do in terms of, in order to make this Latin America food design world bigger, is to continue meeting up and discovering what you're doing, and I tell you what I'm doing. And so in 6 months we know what we are doing, and I have a project and I call you up, and really getting to know each other's work. And it's exactly what you're doing here. Different universities that find out about each other and they exchange thoughts, and that's all you really need to pursue a future in with regards to anything, right? Meeting. Otherwise, if you stay in your own box,
Yeah,
you don't know whatever
what
is
is it, but
right.
you don't know nothing about.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
so talking about the future, for example.
I have another thing to say though. I have another
tip.
Another tip.
I know this
Slow
one.
down,
I
slow
have-
down,
Okay.
No, I was just catching up with my notes.
Okay.
Right.
So this thing we are already doing it was really about getting people to connect, and the
Okay.
second one would be like something that I would personally ask you to pursue with regards to food design, and which is really, well, yes, to showcase all the beautiful things about South Latin American food, but I think that you should really, all of you in Latin America should instill your personality in food design. And don't forget that the personality that you have as people, not as country, as people, not
As a person.
Yes, as
Okay.
individuals, is different from other parts of the world,
Yes.
and that is what makes you you. One of the things that make you you, besides your food and all the rest, and because it's so cool and so unique from a global perspective, then I think that it will make a lot of sense to put it in whatever you do.
Okay.
Yeah. Which you already do probably, but you should not try and hide it. You should really,
Show it.
yes.
And don't forget it.
No, shout it. That's what we do. We dance salsa all the time. Let's do it here also.
Okay, very good. I love the salsa too. Okay, so that's
Yes.
Okay.
And you can see.
Okay, so talking about the future, Francesca, what is the future that you might how can I say that you might see or you can predict
Right. Yes. With my
with your magical bowl of crystal?
Bowl, yeah.
Yeah,
Well.
for Latin America, of course.
Yes. Well, again, as one of the things that came out of the discussion these few days, and we were kind of touching on it before, it's a side of the world with a lot of diversity with regards to food and agriculture and the product that you have, and many of these products people don't know about. Not people outside of Latin America, often people outside of one country or in the same country, like the one potato that we ate the other day. Right,
potato.
and someone was referring to a type of potato. Yesterday, someone was referring to a type of potato that is made by only a person somewhere close to Bogota, whatever, right? And everything basically that slow food wants to pursue. So this diversity is really something that I see with my crystal ball that you will pursue, and that you will emphasize, and then you will make a strength out of the uniqueness of these tiny products sparse that are scattered here and there in Latin America. I also see that there will be a lot more collaboration, because what is happening here with this second meeting it's really I think is demonstrating that this is just the beginning, and there's a lot of people with a lot of interest and willpower to do things, so things will continue happening. I think it's just extremely positive things. So meetings like these and people getting together will continue to happen, so only good things can come out of that. And then the other thing that I've noticed in looking around just this morning is the incredible percentage of younger people that
Yes,
are in the
and
audience.
this second meeting has a little history in his background, little stories in his background. I'm sorry, because when they start the inscriptions on the web page that hey, sign here, there are like 300, 400 people.
600.
600?
600 people they getting signed.
Right.
So, and
They have to decide
A system to get to choose people.
to choose the people, and here they are. But can you imagine all the people that are
Yes.
seeing all this about this in the streaming
Right, yeah.
and the
Yeah.
Twitter, Facebook?
and all the social networks, but
Right.
it's really important that you say that it's young people.
Yes. So the only older people is us from, not even you, it's us from the founding members and the guys who from the universities, different university who organize this, so the lecturer, the professors, everybody else who is interested in food design.
All
So
the lighthouses.
right, so you have these, teachers and professionals, whatever, who are interested in that, but then the vast majority is young people who are saying, hey, this is cool, we really want to be part of it. So it seems like there's a lot of excitement, and seeing so many young faces, it means that in the future, it's going to be huge, it's going to be it's going to go very, very fast, because the majority of these people are young and, with things that they want to do and learn, which is amazing.
Okay, thank you very much for your answer. So then, how can the food industry be pursued by the food design?
Right. Yes. So here we get technical a little bit, I think. I think that any industry, not just in Latin America,
yeah, of course.
but right, food industry. If you think, some people might say that any food industry has been doing food design forever, because they are designing stuff, food. Other people say that it's designed only if there is innovation, otherwise it's not a design outcome. If it's not innovative and if it's not really saying something different from competitors, then it's not really design, because design is only, it aims at innovation. So depending on how you see on it, on how you look at this, the thing that industry should do is, to me, really pursue innovation.
Okay.
So go for something new, because there's plenty of, and I was talking with a guy just half an hour ago, plenty of companies everywhere, not just in Latin America, who look at the bigger company, I don't know, like Pepsi or Frito-Lay, that we were mentioning today, and whatever they do, they call it big. So they have that product also, but they don't have new market and stuff. But that is probably okay for survival, and this is me as my own person, my own brain saying this. I know not everybody will agree, but it's fine. So innovation so pursuing innovation, fine, okay, that's kind of the goal of everybody. But to me, in order to do that with food design, what is important is that whatever food product, food outcome, food service you are designing, you consider all aspects of the eating situation, all aspects that influence the eating experience. Too often, when we design food product, we consider the mouthfeel and what's going on between the product and my mouth, right? So this area of interaction. Whereas I have an entire body, I am always in some type of environment. I'm very often eating with someone else that I might know or that I might not know.
Yeah.
And food can be the most powerful vehicle to trigger interaction and eliciting emotions that come not only from the flavor and the shape and the packaging and what's going on with my mouth, but with everything else that's going on around me. If you think about it, the thing, and this is something that I'm finding from my current research in searching meaningful food, the things that drives people about anything, about everywhere in the world, ultimately is connection with other people, right? Why is it something that we don't pursue all the time with food? So if you think, well, maybe in restaurants, they actually do that. They provide an environment where you can go with your friends or partners and family, and right, so they do. Or there are some products that are designed for, but I think it's something that we should really pursue all the time, because that's what people want. Food is about feeding yourself and having a great experience, but one of the ways to have a great experience is also the connection with people. To me, all the aspects that influence the eating experience, and so all the aspects that we could focus our design on are fine, and they are the food itself, fine, we know about that. And then we said it's called meeting. This categorization comes from the 5-aspect meal model, which was designed for something else, but I think it plays perfectly in the scenario also. So food itself, then meeting, which is the relationship between the people that you're eating with, but also the relationship between you and whoever is serving food, or people around you also that are eating at the same time. And then the atmosphere, so all the things that create the atmosphere, because that can influence the actual flavor of stuff, as we know, and we have a lot of research on that. That's something that is called management control system, so the cost, how fast the food comes. So basically, I think that the industry, in order to innovate in food, should really try and design whatever product or service, trying to consider all the aspects that influence the eating experience, not just the product itself.
Okay. So that's it.
That's it.
Thank
That
you
was
very
easy.
much,
You're
Francesca.
welcome.
Thank you very much.
We're
Please,
going to send you the
the
email with the video.
The URL.
There you go.
yeah, with the video, and well, thank
Make
you
us
very
famous
much.
in the world.
Keep tuned, please. Keep tuned. Now we know that you are in Oakland and you're far on the other side of the planet.
Yeah, but the internet.
But the internet, yes.
Makes us all closer.
So keep in touch,
Yes.
don't lose, and thank you very much for your time
Of course. Thank you for
and your
having me.
knowledge, of
Thanks.
course.
Of course.